Hey guys, Tails here, back with another video. This is kind of a follow-up video to my follow-up video, if you will, talking about Anxiety and Vrchat. This is going to be more of a breakdown of my actual journey because I was trying to fit too much into one video, and I feel like it's good for me to tell the story, and maybe some people will get something out of it if I can share part of my journey. My tale, if you will. You see what I did there? I know you're all still watching after that one. That one's worth sticking around for. But yes, I think that if I tell a bit more of the story, it will make it a bit clearer for some people. And I also kind of want to tell my Vrchat story, like, you know, just want to tell my story. But no, oh god, I'll stop. I hate myself. But I just want to tell, obviously not everything. I've been on since 2017. It's been a ride, okay? I've been through several different friend groups, but I'm going to be focusing on more how each group and how I advanced in my social anxiety through each group, because this has been an ongoing thing since 2017, and I'm going to be sticking to the video game side of it and not the real life side of it. Real life, we're still working on that one. Video game world, we got a lot better, okay? I feel like the video game world is easier to overcome all this. But before I get into that, I just want to thank everybody for cracking 250 watch hours and the 95 subscribers I have as of recording this. You guys are awesome. Thank you for the support. You guys have been liking that last video, which is great because now it has encouraged me to make this video. I'm not trying to become that channel that just posts like the big emotional stories. I know that's where the views are, and that's fantastic, but we're not really about that on this channel. This is kind of an everything, a nice pick and mix bag, if you will, of mini games, chaos, chill videos. We're just out here doing everything. I'm not trying to fit into a niche, but right now this just seems to be what we're doing. So here we go, my Vrchat story. So I started out joining onto Vrchat, obviously not knowing what the hell was going on in 2017. I think it was like day 2 or 3 of Vrchat releasing. I don't even remember how I found it. I probably more than likely saw a Knuckles video or something on that matter. I thought, hey, a game where I can be an avatar of anything I want to be, this sounds cool. Didn't really know this is, I had an idea it was Vrchat, it's in the name. I knew it was a social game, but I was obviously getting on and hoping that I could be not social, and there was a mute button, so that's cool. Anyway, I hop around some worlds. I'm like, well, this is kind of boring. I mean, it's cool, but I was also on a laptop back then, you know. We ain't got the headsets yet. It wasn't even a gaming laptop. It was just like a laptop. I'm running at like 4 frames per second because this is like even older Vrchat, where it was like actually... No, probably about the same. I want to say, I know we have all the safety settings now, but it probably about evens out for frame rate because now we have just extra stuff to deal with and more advanced shaders and stuff than we did back then. Like back then there were just cubes and millions of players, and mostly the millions of players were causing the lag and probably dynamic bones. There were limitations on avatars back then. Anyway, back to the story. Trying to run Vrchat on a laptop at like 15 frames per second with like 500 cats, because I found the Kitten March Band world, as I said, and I was a mute back then, too afraid to talk to anybody, so I was pretty much just a mute for the longest time, marching in lines of like 500 kittens and rotating on worlds for a few days. And then as time went on, I obviously made some friends even though I was mute, because we're joining the lines and we're marching together, and I would just be like, okay, just friend someone, anyone you think is cool, like a fangirl. No, not a fangirl, but just, you know, I think I asked the March League to be my friend, and then I joined on them for a while. Sadly enough, I cannot remember that March League's name. It's in my brain somewhere. He was a DJ cat, and I feel really bad for not remembering, but he hasn't played since like day 3 Vrchat. But anyway, he was doing the March leads, and you know, first big step, requesting to friend someone. That was a big deal for me. Like, this person want to be my friend, you know, big brain fear, stupid stuff. So yeah, asked him to be my friend, and then I asked some other people to be my friend. They're probably none of them play anymore, but anyway, I was just a mute. Big step, friending someone. Goal 1 complete. One of my earliest memories of actually talking to someone in VR chat is actually kind of cringe for me personally, because it wasn't exactly a fangirl moment, but I can just remember it. And I remember this is like VR chat, like probably week 2 or 3 of March Worlds, and I see this one dude pulling off a particle animation to like music. At the time, I thought this was the coolest thing ever, and I was like, oh my god, I want to learn how to do that, you're so cool, and then I was like, I didn't say it to his face, but I was just like, I like your stuff, it was cool. And then I just kind of shut up and walked away, and he was just like, yeah, thanks, you weirdo. I'm like, okay, I said it, that's the important part. But of course, now that I know how that stuff is done, it's like, wow, it was cool, but like, if anyone can do it, because I've done it. But yeah, that was my earliest cringe memory of finally opening up and talking to someone. Now these are memories from 2017, so I'm not saying that's my first ever conversation, but that's my first ever cringe moment that I can remember. And I cringed, I died, and guess what? I'm still here, I'm still alive, nothing happened, the world did not implode. Okay, so we moved on from that, and swiftly exited that world after, and probably joined the marches again. Now, my next memory is being in the KMB world, and we would have just like, this is when the Kitten March Band, like, they had the cube world, and then they moved to like a bigger world with like grass, and it wasn't perpetual winter all the time, which is what it is now. But we actually had sun back then. It was kind of nice, and we would all just like mass hang out in this world. And I remember a group of five friends that I had. I'm not gonna name drop because might get kind of spicy, and I don't want it to, like, you know, stir the pot. I'm not gonna drop any like big secret stories or anything. I'm not here to like spill the tea on all my old friends. But yes, I met a group of friends, and there was obviously is VR chat. One of them was actually surprisingly here's the tea, guys. In this group of friends, there were 5 of us, and there was one guy. This guy had a straight harem, except it wasn't a harem, we were just a group of friends. But he was a penguin, okay? I mean, I have standards. But anyway, he was a penguin, and he was part of the Kitten March Band, and he was like the first person, not him specifically, but this group of people was the group of people that I specifically started to push myself to talk to. Like, I can remember sitting on the end of my screen some days, just listening on the conversation, like, deep cleansing breaths, Tails, deep cleansing breaths. Okay, insert voice here, blurt out something dumb. And yeah, it wasn't always pretty, and it wasn't always great, but, you know, this is the time when I was, like, pushing myself because I wanted to interact more with my friends, and the guy was asking me, like, not personal questions, and, you know, like, friends want to know stuff, not, like, ultra-personal stuff, but, like, funny stories, like, I'm not name dropping, so it's okay if I tell this right, but anyway, one of the friends told me a story about how he sat on a cactus, and I'm not gonna, like, not respond to that. Like, you have to respond to that. And then they're like, yo, tell me a story about yourself. I'm like, I can't top that, man. You sat on a cactus. I don't know how to win that. Like, I really don't. But anyway, it's just those kind of conversations where you want to, like, start pushing yourself to talk, and that was the moment where I'm, like, really just taking my time, and I let them know that I had the social anxiety thing going on, which is why I was quiet. And, you know, my friends would actually stand up for me and tell people that I had social anxiety, or I'd just tell the individual myself and be like, I'm not talking much. I wouldn't really say it much. I'd just usually be quiet, and they wouldn't say anything anyway, because a lot of people will include mutes, but a lot of people don't, and I kind of understand it, because unless you've been there, or unless you've had a mute in your friend group, it is kind of hard to really know how to interact, because obviously they're mute. And if they're in VR, it's kind of a little easier because they have objects, and now you can, like, draw with a pen. Again, early VR chat, not many worlds had, like, abilities to write, so, you know, we're in the Stone Age back here. We're, like, out here miming charades and this, like, you know, it was hard times. But a lot of people use text-to-talk, which is what one of my other friends used, and her using text-to-talk, she would have to type, and sometimes when someone asked something, it would take her a while to respond, and then people would start getting angry, and that's when I would step in and like say something so that they would like just chill. And of course, when you're in those moments, you're not really thinking about your anxiety anyway. You're just thinking about it becomes like a natural thing, and then you're just like, oh, I didn't even think about it after that. So yeah, you know, just hanging out with friends and stuff was slowly pushing me to talk more. If ever we went to a public world, I would completely close up. Like I still struggle with public worlds on my own. Like I'll get into that in a minute. But anyway, if we were in a public world, which actually back then was possible. This was like pre-crashers and stuff because there were limitations on avatars. So God, I was so fortunate to be in early VRchat with my anxiety, apparently. But anyway, public worlds, a lot of people would hang out in public worlds. Pretty much everyone was in a public world because you didn't have to worry about being crashed or anything. So it was kind of nice, and at the same time kind of terrible. So actually, no, thinking about it, my friends, I would be in a corner, and my friends wouldn't actually mind hanging out in the corner with me, especially if there was a lot of crazy stuff going on. So that was nice of them. And as time went on, I kind of wanted to be part of it, so I would push myself to go out there more, and I'd tell myself, right, okay, take deep breaths, just go in, just do it, close your eyes and run in your little desktop kitten. I was a kitten March band model, I think, at this point still. And that's another thing too, if you're in VR, well, if you're in anything, I found it helpful to, in some cases, just close my eyes and pretend I wasn't in the moment and just like blurt it out. The beauty of that is they can't see it. Hopefully they have the ability, like face tracking stuff is coming, I know, but it was something that helped me. So if we're in early days and you don't want that, maybe just play without like face tracking on till you can work through the weird face expressions phase. Unless that's just me, that's probably just me, but I can remember pulling a whole lot of face expressions behind the screen that no one would even know, and it was coming out normal in my tone of voice, and that was all that matters. It's okay, well, probably not normal, but like, you know, it wasn't, I was probably a bit blurty and robotic, but you know, you didn't know I was like cringing and just dying on the other. I really hope no. I really hope not. I don't know, but it didn't matter because I was in a good community and no one really cared. And this is VRchat. Pretty much 90% of the other people in the room probably have social anxiety too. So you know what? You're good. They're probably cringing more than just a contest at this point. Who can cringe the most and just hate their self worst in that specific moment? It's like a contest. A contest you don't want to win. You want to lose this one. But anyway, yes. I can remember just wanting to be part of stuff and slowly pushing myself and wanting to be part of conversations, ask my own questions. I would think of a question and then wait for an appropriate time to ask it, and then just like blurt it out, and before I knew it, we'd all just be talking normally. And of course, this group of friends that I was talking about, group of 5 friends, I still talk to 2 of them, good friends. Other 2, there was drama. I'm just gonna say that. The 2, there's drama. One of them left. And, well, I'm just gonna say both of them left. So, they're both gone now. I'm just gonna say both of them left. And then I was completely oblivious to the reason why until someone told me, like, 5 years later. I'm not even kidding. Like, I am so oblivious to anything unless someone usually tells me. I do not pick up on it. Whatever. There was a whole thing, and then there was other things on top of that thing, and VRchat drama, and I just don't want to. Anyway, moving on. Shortly after that, hanging out in the KMB world again, a chill, cool place in VRchat. We can still hang out. This is around the time the Crash Avatar still came along, so we were probably slowly drifting into Friends Plus at this point. Which means, you know, it's VRchat. No more public worlds. We gotta have friends. We're all squadding up and grouping up in this biznatch. Like, did I say biznatch? No. No. Anyway, we're all squadding up now. We're all heading to these Friends Plus worlds because the crashers are coming. And, so we're all just basically a massive group at this point again, and I'm hanging out with pretty much everybody. And this one guy walks in who has a really cool kitten avatar. And it's a custom avatar, like actual custom avatar, not VRchat custom avatar. I have a custom avatar with a cat that I really liked, but unfortunately does not work in full body. Again, I was in desktop at this point, still a peasant. And he comes in with this avatar, and I really like it. Slightly more confident at this point. Still cringy, will always be cringy. I just have to accept that about myself. But anyway, walk up to him, tell him how cool his avatar is. We get to talking, and then I meet these 7 other cats in this same avatar, and there's like a not cult kind of thing. But it wasn't a cult, but we called ourselves a cult because it was funny. Anyway, he ended up making one of these custom cat avatar models for me, and that was pretty awesome. And at this point, I'm kind of a little more comfortable talking to like randos, obviously because I just walked up to that one guy and was more or less fine, and we're still friends with that guy. He hops on every now and again. He's still making avatars. I'll name drop him. His name is Natchjuice. He's actually goes by a different name though on his other account, and I think it's just Natchdose. He does do avatars on commission now. That's pretty cool. You know, I was ahead of the crowd. Like, I was there before he was cool. Well, I mean, he was he ever cool? He had a lot of meme avatars. No, he was cool. He's cool. But anyway, I met his friends, and then this is VR chat when you still didn't really go to public worlds because of crashers, but they were like friends of friends of friends of friends. So we would go to different worlds, joining on friends of friends of friends, and I would meet their friends. And then this was around the time I met a friend who actually made their own worlds, and I thought that was pretty cool. And shortly after I made my own world, which is still up. No, actually, no, it was a long time after because Udon. I remember thinking that I wanted to make a world, but I was still learning how to upload avatars at the time, and worlds sounded like work. So I didn't go on to worlds yet. Yeah, worlds is a while off. But anyway, through meeting this Natch guy, I actually learned how to set up avatars properly that weren't janky T-posing up of like, I don't know, Stitch or Pikachu that I had. I actually uploaded a Mew, and I don't even know how I did it, but when I uploaded the model, it was like upside down. Don't ask me how. It was obviously like not movable in any way. It just came in upside down and the tail was all wonky. I don't even know, but you know, first ever upload, I had an excuse. But anyway, by this point I'm learning to upload my own stuff and getting better at that because I want to upload my cat avatar, add animations to it. We are evolving, getting better. So at this point, creativity, wanting to talk to people, learn how to do this stuff. So I'm able to talk to people easier, and I can talk to randos by introducing myself and asking them questions about what they do and how they do it. And a lot of the time we just get told to go check out a tutorial, but you know what? Conversation piece. And again, still pretty quiet at this point, not really all that talky unless I was with people that I spoke to pretty much every day. But anyway, rolling on a little bit now to when I get VR. The cat mages are still around for a while, but they're slowly disbanding. You know, people are moving on from VR chat. We got the crashers now. We got the avatar stealers. It's just not a fun time for VR. Well, it's still a fun time, but it's not a great time for VR chat. It's not VR chat's finest hour. People are leaving and just finding other things to do. It's not the same place. You can't just go to a public world and hang out anymore at this point. So, you know, people are moving on. Gotta find that other friend group, boys. So, yes, friend group numero tres, which is, half my current friend. Now, my current friend group is kind of complicated in the sense that, you know, people take breaks, they come and they go. I still talk to a lot of them outside of VR chat. So we're still friends, not necessarily in VR chat, which is why they don't pop up so much in my videos anymore, because, you know, it's fine. Find another game to play. That's cool. VR chat's amazing, but there's more to do in the world, believe it or not, than VR chat, and the addiction is real with this game. But anyway, a lot of the friends I do still talk to that you just don't really see my videos anymore, but they're still around. They're still there. So I just kind of, I have, it's hard, like I said, it's hard to explain. Like, I don't necessarily bounce between friends. I have friends that bounce off and on and off and on and on. And I got the solid group, like Moon, Retro. You see them all the time. Now, with this group of friends, this is the kicker. Giving a Birth Friends is essentially a charity when 3 groups get together and raise money for charity. We do mini games like hot food eating challenges and mini games. We also do marches, and we just do a whole bunch of stuff every Saturday for like 8 hours throughout the month. And last time we've raised like at least 5,000 for charity, which is amazing. But the thing is, this charity was actually my idea, and I remember, again, I hate Discord calls, so I remember messaging one of the KMB head honchos, if you will, Shadow, in the middle of the night. I'm like, yo, I had this idea for a charity. I actually had this idea for this charity years ago, like early day VR chat. I thought, I was just getting in front of the mirror and I'm like, yo, this would be a cool idea, but there's no way I can execute this because I have like 3 friends. But anyway, okay, so this idea jumps back in my brain. I message him at like midnight. He's like, that sounds cool. You should do that. I'm like, oh crap. So the next thing I know, I'm in Discord calls with like the Hapu, the Nanachi, and the Kittens, and we're all planning this charity event and putting this charity event together. Again, this is year 1, so you know, we got all this promotional material to work on. We got to get everybody together, figure out what everyone's doing, and we actually have evolved quite a lot since the start. But you know, we would have you know, we had to make sure we had streamers ready to go, and just everything, all the planning and everything. Now, for someone who had like social anxiety, this was like a big step, okay? Like taking on something, a project of my own. I don't go in small, okay? I'm like, yo, go big or go home. I'm not gonna start out doing events where I just, you know, host a movie or an anime night. Like, that's too easy. Nah, we're going in for a whole charity event that involves 3 different groups of people. Basically panic mode for about 2 months, and then the event rolls around. First week, thank God the stream was lost, but the first world I picked was like laggy and it didn't really work well, and there was this whole lot of chaos, and it was still fun. It was still a fun time, but it wasn't exactly great. And then the next week we were a little more organized, and then as time goes on we've gotten it down to a little bit more of an art, to the point where last year we were on the 3rd one, and we actually had some pretty big names helping us out with the event, which was pretty cool. So we've come a long way. It's not just me planning it anymore, but I was planning that first one, and I can just remember being in panic mode for like 3 months, but we pulled it off. It's always a fun time. I'm really hoping we can get the 4th one going next year. It's a lot of work, but once it gets going, it's so much fun. Everyone just loves it. We've raised over $5,000 in just our little groups, and we want to keep that going. So Cats Gaming with Friends 4, excited for that. Hopefully can be covering that, and hopefully we can get that going. But anyway, hosted a massive charity event. Gone from not talking to anybody on my little dinky laptop to hosting a charity event in VR chat. It can be done, guys. Also, the next step after that was recording YouTube videos and finally getting around to doing that. Talking in front of a camera, getting relaxed doing that, and here we are today. That is my brief VR chat history, guys, and my walk through social anxiety, the steps I took. It wasn't easy. It wasn't done overnight. It was a process. It didn't take the full... Well, it took the full time, obviously, get to where I am today. But actually talking to people, it probably took like maybe a year and a half, and then everything else just came after that. And here we are. Here I am talking to you guys about my journey, and it has been hell of a journey. I've met tons of great people. We've had our drama, we've had our experiences, but without them and their experiences, I wouldn't be here talking to you today, and I wouldn't have learned that I really should. I just didn't want to be a part of drama on VR chat. You got drama? Don't bring it to my house, okay? we ain't got time for that. But anyway, yes, I hope this was somewhat helpful, or at least interesting, and you guys could pick up how I also, oh wait, I just remembered I would talk about public worlds. Obviously you kind of have to join a public world, but I would recommend joining a group first, like the Kitten March Band, and going on some marches with them. They host marches in the middle of every month, every Saturday, currently, and sometimes randomly throughout. But if you can meet a group of friends that way, it's a lot nicer than joining on a public world. do not recommend doing it on a weekend because it's full of drunk people. And public worlds are definitely scary if you have the anxiety, and there's a whole lot going on. Like, it can be a fun time in a public world. My open mic night video was actually filmed randomly, and I spliced together me talking in between, but it was filmed randomly in a public world. It was an amazing public world. It can happen, but they can also be kind of scary, especially if you have anxiety. So I would recommend trying to find a group first and then hopping into the public worlds, because I do sometimes struggle. It depends on the world. I cannot still go up to some just random person and be like, hey, what's up, and just start a whole conversation. Like, it's not necessarily that it's hard, it's just that I don't know what I'm gonna face. You know, in public worlds it can be pretty much anything. They can be standoffish, they can be perfectly nice. If you're with a friend, it's a lot easier. If you're by yourself, it's chaos just waiting to unfold. So heads up on that. I don't even know if I'll ever be comfortable. It's always hard to go into a public world and just be like, hey, and just hang out with people. It has happened, I have done it, but you gotta read. It depends on the room, as I said. Anyway, I think that's everything I pretty much wanted to tell you about my life story in VRChat without going into too much detail and too much tea. But yeah, that's pretty much my brief VRChat life with social anxiety. You'll probably hear more about my VRChat history as time goes on. But I'm not going to take away years of your life in this video by explaining years of my life in one video. Nah, you want to hear more VRChat stories, you gotta hang around and stick around for that. Like, comment, subscribe. Do you like that little segue there? Yep. You're still all here, aren't you? You didn't leave in like the first 2 minutes. No, all still here. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed. I hope that this can maybe help in some way, and it helped me being on this game. It can definitely help you if you go about it the right way. And the biggest thing is you have to be committed. Obviously, like with anything, if you give up, then you're never going to overcome it, and you have to push yourself. It's not just, it is a process, it is steps. You have to push yourself. Don't push yourself too hard, just do stuff when you're ready. But cringe faces, they cannot see your cringe face. Make all the cringe faces when you're talking. They're not going to know. Whatever gets you awkward moment, they're probably not even going to, hopefully not even going to notice, but you just got to do it. Or, you know, text to talk, voice changers, if you're that bothered. There are plenty of there. So I would recommend VRChat to help you work through your social anxiety at your own pace. Choose an appropriate avatar if you don't want the attention. There's that too. Note that. Females, if you don't want the males all around you, don't pick a big titty anime girl. That's all I can tell you. Go for Knuckles. Go for something safe. Work your way up. You gotta work your way up to the anime girls, okay? Definitely not any girl. No, okay. Yes, and remember, that block button is always there. Mute button. You're being harassed. You don't want to deal with it. Just leave. You don't have to deal with it. And the beauty of VRChat is you're probably never going to have to see that person again if you do make a social faux pas or do something super. And that was what helped get me through. And sometimes just telling people that you have social anxiety can help them know, help you know. If they don't want to deal with it, they can leave. That's their problem, whatever. But a lot of them will probably just stick around and be like, okay, whatever, cool. VRChat, pretty much everyone has social anxiety, so that's why we're all in VRChat. We're not all out partying. We're here being socially awkward together. Woohoo! Awkward people unite. Anyway, I keep trying to close this video. Thanks for watching, guys. Like, comment, subscribe. I will see you all in the next one. Good boy.
Hey, Mr.